Hi, I'm Andy.
Hi, and I'm Sandy of Two Wheel Training Academy, and we're going to tackle a problem today that you're going to handle when you're riding off-road in the bush.
A puncture. So what you need to do is to find something to put the bike on. The first thing you need to do is look for whatever offending article has damaged your tyre. Try and find out where that is. Now you can spin this around quite easily, you can look for it, and in our particular case there's a nice little nail, there you go, which has gone into the tyre and punctured the tube inside. Okay, so here's a few tools that you'll need. You don't actually need to carry full sets like this. In fact, it's actually better just to pick out the spanners that you're going to need and the sockets that you're going to need. We've got the whole thing here today. You're going to need some spanners for the nuts on here, possibly a socket set as well, because you often need to do both sides. So you're often going to need things of the same size. You're going to need a pump to pump the thing back up again. You're going to need some puncture repair kit, which is a patch and some glue. Ideally some sort of chalk, or you can use baby powder as well. That just clears off the glue on the inside of the tube and stops the tube from sticking to the tyre. At a push you can actually use some very fine dirt if you can find some as well with no sharp edges. And you're going to need something to actually take the tyre off. So this is a specialist one that you can carry with you. It's got a bead breaker on it as well. So these tyres are actually quite easy to break the bead, which is actually getting the tyre to separate here. But on some bikes it's very difficult and you need something specialist to deal with it. What we've also got is a mat. This is a standard sort of emergency mat, but very good to put underneath wherever you're working, because when you lose nuts and bolts here, chances are you haven't got any spares, so you're really going to get stuck. So it's a good idea to work on something like this, so if they fall out or you drop one or something like that, you can see it straight away. This wheel's fairly straightforward. There's just 4 bolts here and 1 there, and this guy should come off. So here we are with the tyre. We'll do another quick visual inspection, just see if there's anything else on the tyre. Seems okay. We got the nail out and we marked it. What you want to do here is look inside, put the edge of the tyre lever in, and now what you have to do is to push around the edge of the tyre while applying pressure here to get the bead into this recessed area in the centre. And what that does is make it much easier to take the tyre off, and it'll almost come off with virtually no pressure. As you saw there, I didn't really have to put very much pressure in. The tyre's nicely in the centre and up she comes. And then what you need to do is just let it dry a bit before you apply the patch. Here's a typical patch which has been kicking around in our repair kit for a while. It's a bit dog-eared in spaces. There are 2 parts to it. There's the clear side and there's the silver side. And it's the silver side that we want to take off. So we need to pull that silver side off, like so, making sure that there isn't any dirt or grit or anything on this orange side, because that's what we're going to apply to the tube. Our tube now should be ready. See, it's kind of dried off a little bit, it's slightly tacky. We want to make sure that the area is completely covered by the patch, so the glue area is bigger than the patch, and apply the patch to the space, pushing down all the way around. The whole idea is to pressurize this patch into here and loosen the clear layer from the patch. Now what you'll find is that there is a center area here. They usually put a split in them so that you can actually start to peel this stuff from the inside out and not from the outside in, because if you do it from the outside in, you'll pull this orange off. What we've now got is a patch on there, and we've got some spare glue around the outside. If we don't do something about that, that glue is going to try and stick to the inside of the tyre. So Sandy, what have you got for us?
Aha! Baby powder. You don't have to use baby powder, so you can use anything as long as it is soft and it's not going to cause punctures, and that it's going to stick to the glue better than the glue is going to stick to anything else.
If you don't have any of that, you can use chalk, like powdered chalk, and you can even use very fine dust if you can find some around. Just make sure you clean off any of the larger pieces of grit. You just need something to absorb the glue. What we're going to do now, our tube is ready. It's going to leave it a couple of minutes just to make sure it's nicely cured. Then we're going to pump it up and make sure that there aren't any more leaks. Tube's nice and clean, no dirt on this, so we can put it back in.
Start with the valve side at the valve hole. You don't want to put it in the wrong way.
You need to start, presumably, away from the valve by just putting the tyre into, and you can do this by hand to start with, getting the tyre into the bead again. And there will come a point quite quickly when you have to start using the tyre irons again. What you want to do is to make sure that this part of the tyre which is in, again, fits into this recess rather than here. And you can do that just by putting your knee on it. You'll find it'll be much easier then to push the tyre on. You can get your knee on this area as well, so that the whole of this side of the tyre is actually in place. You'll find you can go a long way around the tyre without using the tyre irons. Okay. Now I need to start using the tyre irons. I need to actually get this thing back on again. I put the tyre iron in, and I've got to be very careful that the tube isn't between the tyre iron and the rim of the tyre. The trick with this is to do small steps, gently. If you have a friend, they can hold it for you.
Put their knee on even.
Yeah, just to assist. Sometimes the back end of the tyre iron is a little easier, but just be careful of it slipping. Like so. Make sure that the tyre, this is one of the dangerous spots, and I'm being very careful to try and make sure I'm not catching the tube. Here we go, we're nearly there. And in. So we've done a bit of pumping, we shared it because it's quite hard. What we're going to do now is just do up this nut. You can do it with a spanner, but you don't want to do it too tight because otherwise you can actually pull this thing out of the inner tube. Well, there you go. We've given you a little taster of doing some maintenance on your bike or repairs on your bike. I hope you found it useful.
Yeah, so do look us up. Our website is twowheeltrainingacademy.com. You can find out about more of the practical hands-on training we do and safety training. And don't forget to post your routes on Bikeroutes.co because it will be fun to see you on the road.